Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Delicious Bites, and I'm back. I'm back with another video. So today, you guys, what am I doing? I'm crafting this guy. So let's get into it because you know I'm probably gonna run out of time. I've done gnomes on my channel. I just recently done a gnome that is a wall hanger. This gnome sits. He's not made to be hung. He is made to be sat on a table, fireplace, mantle, wherever you'd like to sit him in any little nook and cranny. That is what he is meant for. So let's get going. Set him to the side. What you are going to need is this little baby Chanel yarn. I've been using it, so that's why it's not in the packaging, and I can't remember what the name of it is. But it looks like this. This is going to make his beard. You can use a cone, which he has a cone in his hat. If you don't want to use a cone, or you can't find them, you can use pillow batting or stuffing, pillow stuffing, polyfiber stuffing, whatever you want to call it. You're going to need some of these cute little, they're called Snuggadoo socks from Dollar Tree. This is Dollar Tree. These are Dollar Tree. You guys know me. The only thing that's not Dollar Tree is this yarn. I had to go to Joann's for that. Last year I did gnomes and they had fur beards, but the fur is expensive, so I was trying to find something that was more cost effective. So two different kinds of sock, because one's going to be his body, one's going to be his hat, and you can get two gnomes per pack of sock. Is that right? Yeah. Out of this I would get 1, 2 gnomes, 2 bodies, two hats. So just pick the ones you want. These are also from Dollar Tree. These are from Dollar Tree. Whatever ones you like. And then while you're there, you need to pick up a pair of white tube socks. These are from Dollar Tree, white tube socks. And then at Joann's, or if you can find it at Dollar Tree, because sometimes they have it, pick up some white felt, because that's what we're going to use to make his beard. We're going to cut a piece that is 3 inches wide, and this is crooked, it's not going to matter, by 3 inches wide by 4 inches long. So you need that. Don't come for me. I know people feel a certain way about wasting food. I do too, pretty much. But I got a bag of rice from Dollar Tree, and from one bag of rice you can make 2 gnomes. It's just cheaper than the little poly pellets. That's expensive for as much as you're going to need. You need a bag and a half of this, or a cup and a half of this to 2 cups. That polyfill is way too, those little poly beads, it's too expensive. It is. So don't come for me. It is what it is. It's $1, and it just don't. You're going to need some rice or some beans, or if you want to go spend, $10 on the little pellets, do you. I bought the rice. You're going to need some twine, or some jute. You're going to need some ribbon to decorate his hat, and some little berries or picks or whatever you want. And I also put a bell on his hat because I think that a gnome should have a bell on his hat. So we're already 3 minutes in. That's the materials list. Of course, you're going to need some hot glue, because I don't do anything without hot glue, and a little bit of blush to make his nose red or pink or whatever color you want it that shows he was outside and it's cold. Let's get to crafting. Plug in that glue gun. Let it start heating up now. So what you want to do, I have this on my finger because I've been crafting today, and this is just to keep the hot glue from burning me when I touch stuff. And when I get into this, you guys, I'm going to put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing, because you don't really need to see me. Let's do that. No. Oh, and you're going to need some elastics, little black elastics, at least 2. I'd go with 4, but when you buy a pack, there's 50 in it. Dollar Tree. Put this down. Okay, so men's tube socks, here they go. You're going to cut them at the heel. See where the heel is? Cut it across. Just cut it straight across. When you cut it across, you're going to take the, matter of fact, I already got one started, you guys. Okay, so here's the tube sock. There's the heel. Cut it straight across. Don't throw this part away. We can use it. But that's the part with the toe. You're going to take that, open it up, stuff it full of rice, tamp it down. You can put it in a glass and pour it in. You can funnel it in. You can put your hand in it, however you want to do it. I'm going to use my hand because, and it's going to make a mess. I'm going to pour rice all over my table, believe me. But I'm going to use my hand because I don't feel like getting up to go get no funnel. Okay, see, that's not enough. So, and I'm getting my rice off this table. Using all of it. Into the bag it goes. Into the bag, into the sock it goes. Oh, Lord. So let's put some more in here because it's not enough. I'm trying to do it and not make a mess. We'll see how that goes. And I'm making this because this is an order. Someone has purchased this. So this is his body. If you want him more, if you want bigger, you want him taller, add more rice. I'm going to add a little bit more. Let's get my hands in there. I'm going to let that be enough. All right, so there it is. Now, the reason you have the elastic is to tie off the top. You take your elastic. You guys, there's tons of videos on YouTube about how to make sock gnomes, but I just thought I'd share with you the ones that I make. If nobody ever made a video because somebody else had already made it, there wouldn't be anything to watch. Everybody's got their own perspective, their own take on things. So I'm just going to pull that down tight. And then we're going to cut off the extra. You can leave the extra to use it as stuffing, to stuff into the hat if you want. I usually cut it off. Let's leave it on and see how it looks. I usually don't leave it on, so let's do that and see what happens. We could use it as filler and maybe use less filler because we got some sock. So now we got to make his nose. And how you make his nose, you guys, you look for the best spot on him and you take my finger protector off and you just grab it. Just grab a good bit of rice. Grab it like that, however you want it, towards the top, in the middle, whatever you want to do. But I like going more towards the top of the rubber band. And just grab a good piece of that rice, good bunch of that rice, and put your elastic on it. And that makes his gnome nose. I like to use 2 elastics, and then I'm going to tie it off as well. Because if your elastic breaks over time, he won't have a nose. So there's his nose, right there. All right. So now I have to use some of my hemp. This is what we need it for. We're going to tie off his nose just to make sure if the elastic breaks, we don't lose our nose. Just tie that off tight. Let's wrap it around a couple times and make a knot. And then cut off the long pieces that you don't need. Uh-oh, cut it too short. My knot came undone. I'm just going to wrap back around it. Lesson learned, you guys. Don't cut it so short that your knot comes undone. And his beard's going to cover that up anyway. So now you've got his nose tied off. Let's tie off the top, because we don't want that to come undone if the elastic should break. I'm not worried about tying that or cutting that off because it's just going to go in here as stuffing. It's not going to matter. Now, because I want him to sit up and not just be falling all down flat, you need to gird him up. So in order to do that, you wrap some twine around him. And that's going to make him stand up. I like to tie my twine. Some people put their twine on the outside after they put the other sock on. I don't like to do that. I like my twine hidden. So see how when I wrapped it up, he stood up? That's what you want. You want him to stand up. So you just wrap your twine and then give it a good tie in the back. I'm just tying a knot. Again, this may be a two-parter because I can only record for about 25 minutes at a time and then my camera shuts down. So it may be a two-parter. As much as I don't really care for making two-parters, sometimes that's what it is. All right, so you got him all done up, tied up. Now you want to get him dressed. He needs some clothes. So you're gonna decide what outfit you want to put him in. So let's do that. I say, let's put him in a red sock. You're going to cut your red sock at the heel just like you cut the white sock that you put the rice in. Cut it at the heel. Save this piece because it can be used for a hat. You want the heel piece in the back. So you're just going to lay him down and get him dressed. Just like that. You're going to pull the back of him up like that. And we're going to glue him, but not yet. Not just yet. And you see how you got his clothes pulled all the way up to his nose? That's what you want. Now we're going to work on making his beard. So you're going to take your piece of felt that is 3 inches wide by 4 inches long, and you are going to cut it into a V. So pick the prettiest side. I think that's the prettiest side for me. And then you're just going to cut it in a V. I like to take that part, flip it over to that side so I kind of get a little bit even. I try anyway. And if you don't like how your V looks, just shape it. I like to take the ends and round them out a little bit. Doesn't have to be a pointy V because it's not going to matter. We're going to cover that up with the yarn. So if it's not pointy, it doesn't matter. So there's your shape you want. And then all we are going to do is hot glue our yarn onto the fabric. I'll be right back, you guys. So I took my yarn and I cut random strips. You want them long enough that you know they're going to cover, but it doesn't matter. I have no, rhyme or reason, just random strips. And I cut about 50. And I'm just going to glue them down. Let me pull this back so you all can see. I'm just going to glue down. Keep gluing. So all I'm going to do is run a bead of glue like that. Put my finger back on so I don't get burned. And then I just lay it down. Run another bead of glue. Grab a strip. And lay it down close to the other one. That's why I have this finger, so I can tamp it down. Make it stick into the felt and not get burnt. These you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. You get 3 in a pack. They're for quilting or for needlepoint. Look, it's a silicone tip that keeps me from getting burnt, okay? Just because that's what it's made for don't mean that's what it has to be used for. You can repurpose anything. Lay your strips down. And you're going to do that all the way down until you end up with a piece that looks like this, where you've glued your strips all the way down, across. Now that you've got all your strips glued onto your felt, you want to put you want to fold it in half, and you're going to cut a little notch out of that from the back of the felt. See, I cut that little notch out. This is what it looks like. You need that piece cut out so you can go under his big nose. Just like that. Tuck it under his nose. And you're going to hot glue it. So I like to take and run a bead of glue right around the sides and underneath that cut. See how it's smoking? That's why I got my finger thing on, keep from getting burnt up. And then you're going to tuck that under there. And let me put on my other finger. I'm serious about not getting burnt today. And then I'm just squeezing it until it holds. Okay? Now that that's on, you definitely want to go ahead, pull this up, and hit it with some glue. So we're going to bead a glue there, pull this back up, lay it down. Don't worry about this part. Your hat's going to cover that. Now that we got his beard on, I don't think it's full enough, so I add more to it. So what I start doing, because I don't think it's full enough, is I will take and start going under his nose and gluing all the way down under his nose. I'll do that, and then when I get almost to the end, I'll start gluing straight down. And he gets this look that you see right here. That's how that fills his beard out. So let's do that. Run a bead of glue under his nose. Put that in place. And you're just going to do that all the way down to about just before the tip of his beard. You're going to stop just before the tip because we want the tip to be long. So we're going to stop so that we can start gluing in the other direction. So glue all the way down to here, about halfway, and then stop. Glue straight across. Let me do another one. We're going to run out of time. It's going to be a part 2. Run a bead of glue under his nose and lay that down. And now that I've gone halfway down his beard, going vertical, now I'm going to start going horizontal. I'm going to start gluing straight down. So all I'm going to do is run a line of glue and then be very careful about laying these on it because I'm not trying to get burnt up. So I'm just laying them down. Laying them down. And you can start all the way under his nose if you want, laying them down just to get it thick and full. I'm going to start here, and I may go back and put some under his nose. Maybe, maybe not. Just pressing them into the glue, long strips. Got some red in there. Get that out. Okay. And so now, press that down. This is what his beard is looking like. And then I'll go back and I'll trim it up and make it look the way I want it to look. That's what we got for a beard. So now that I got his beard shaped up the way I want it, I'm just gonna get this black and white and some gray polka dot kind of sock and make his hat. You always want the heel in the back of what you're doing. You don't want the heel in the front. So we're just gonna put his hat on, and then you can look at it and see if you want to stuff it. Well, looking at it like this, yeah, you do want to stuff it. You know you want to pull his hat all the way down to his nose, just like that. And down the back of his body, it's going to go around his beard a little bit. It'll look like this in the back. And you just want his nose to be pushing that hat up. So you do want to stuff it. You see how it just has no shape to it. So we're going to add some some cotton, what is this stuff? I don't know, y'all. We're going to add some polyester packing to his hat and then put it back on his head. So we're just stuffing his hat. Stuff it how full or thin, however you want it. I don't want it real thick. I want to be able to play with it and shape it. So we're just going to stuff it a little bit. We've stuffed it and put it on his little body. If you want his hat to sit a certain way, put some wire in it. I'm not going to because I know that I can tie ribbon around it and get the look that I want. And so I put his hat on and I just smashed it down. And we are going to come back with the part 2 and finish this up. I just know it because I have so much embellishing to do and I'm going to run out of time. But I want his hat to kind of sit to the side a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie it off here with some of my jute because that's going to make it look very rustic and really cute. And then I'm going to put a bell here and some more embellishment. So I'm just, you know, kind of shaping it the way I want it. And then I will go ahead and glue it down once I make sure it's what I want. So I haven't glued it down yet. And then I think I want to take this ribbon and we'll be back for part 2, you guys. It's gonna cut out, I'm so sorry. You know my long videos do that. But we'll finish it together. You guys need to see the finished product because it's gonna be so stinking cute. So I will be back with part 2. Bye, guys.